in the shadow of a quiet veteran care facility, tucked deep within the pine forests of Oregon, where sunlight seems to never fully reach. I stood still, feeling the air pressing heavy on my chest. This was not silence born of peace. It was the kind of silence that hums beneath the skin, as if gunfire, screams, and moans of the dead still echoed, caught between the branches of those ancient trees. Here, no one talks about war. They whisper about sleep, a luxury that was stolen long ago from the men who once walked through the burning jungles of Vietnam. Look at them, silver-haired, hunched, walking slowly, like every step slices open an old wound. They are American veterans, men who once wore green, who marched through red soil and black water in the Vietnam of the 1960s and 70s. But don't mistake survival for peace, because for them, sleep is no longer rest. It's a door into nightmare, where ghosts still call out from the dark. According to the US Department of Veterans Affairs, more than 70% of Vietnam veterans with PTSD suffer from recurring violent nightmares. A 2018 study published in the journal Sleep revealed these dreams aren't just memory. They are manifestations of something that refuses to let go. If you sit beside them under the soft haze of cigarette smoke, in the dim light of old desk lamps, you'll feel it, the past, whispering louder than the present. For 18 months, I traveled across the United States, through the dust of Texas, the abandoned coasts of Florida, the frozen stillness of Wyoming. I came to find the last witnesses of a war most have forgotten. They are walking journals, with scars on their bodies, and deeper ones in their minds. I met Thomas, a former Marine from San Antonio. The mortar that exploded in Hue in 1968 left a scar on his shoulder. But the screams of his dying squad left something deeper. I met Helen, once a combat nurse near Da Nang, now living alone in a fading Florida town, still haunted by the cries of soldiers she couldn't save. I swear to you, nothing you're about to hear is fiction. These 14 stories are told exactly as they were shared with me, each one verified by surviving comrades and matched against records held deep inside the National Personnel Record Center in St. Louis, Missouri. Some veterans gave me pages from old diaries, letters home, faded photographs, their pain documented by more than just memory. You may doubt, you may not be afraid, but I ask you this: listen, as I once did, sitting in rooms so quiet I could hear only the wind tapping the window, and their eyes staring into a world far from ours, a world where part of them is still trapped. Now, the first story begins. The voice beneath Khe Sanh, a Marine who survived the siege of Khe Sanh in 1968, one of the bloodiest battles in US military history. Over 1,000 Americans killed, thousands more wounded. But what haunts him isn't the bullets, it's the voice, cold, whispering, calling his name every night. When the jungle sleeps and the world goes silent, let's open the door to that darkness and listen. "I'm not superstitious," John whispered, his voice dry like brittle leaves scraping against a cold night wind. His hands, wrinkled by time and war, trembled as he lit his third cigarette in under an hour. The flame flickered between his fingers, casting shadows across his hollow eyes, like a ghost silently watching from the edge of memory. "Before Vietnam, I only believed in two things: the gun in my hands and the man beside me. Guns could save your life. Brothers could die for you. That was all. But Khe Sanh..." He stopped. His eyes, cloudy with age, drifted past the hospital window, as if he saw a faceless figure standing still in the fog beyond. It wasn't a battlefield. It was a purgatory where the living and the dead blurred into one. John arrived at Khe Sanh in January of 1968, in the dead cold of winter. A fine drizzle fell day and night, like icy needles piercing the skin, numbing the body and the soul. The base was under constant siege. Over the course of 77 days, more than 100,000 tons of artillery and bombs rained down on the valley. 122mm shells fell like hail, shaking the very ground they slept on. They lived in deep, muddy bunkers, dark as graves. There was no difference between night and day. The air reeked of mold, sweat, gunpowder, and death. A suffocating presence that made even the earth feel like it was mourning the spirits trapped beneath it. "That night," he continued, "in Bunker 12, I heard a voice. His voice dropped to almost nothing, as if even recalling it risked summoning something back. Not loud, barely a breath, like wind brushing the back of my neck. It said, 'John.'" Sleep, lips twitching, trapped in their own blood-stained dreams. He told himself it was just the mind playing tricks, a side effect of exhaustion. But the next night, when the shelling paused, the voice came again, clearer, closer.
"John, why'd you leave me? Why didn't you come back for me?"
John knew that voice. It was Thompson, his best friend, a Kansas kid with bright blue eyes and a smile that lit up jungle fog like sunlight. 2 weeks earlier, Thompson had stepped on a mine atop Hill 861. The blast tore him apart, left nothing but scraps and a pool of black blood in the red mud. His family received a folded flag and a letter. They never knew his soul was still trapped there, waiting. "I told no one," John rasped. "Who'd believe me? They'd think I'd lost it." But every night I heard it. Sometimes a whisper, sometimes a scream, like it was rising from the bowels of hell. Then one night, when the rain stopped and silence cloaked the base like a funeral shroud, he heard a sound beneath the bunker floor. Not rats, not dripping water, but 3 deliberate knocks, slow, measured, echoing like the heartbeat of something already dead. Then, nothing. Then came a breath, long, cold, like the final exhale of a buried man. I screamed like a wounded animal. The whole squad jolted awake, guns raised, eyes wild with fear. But no one saw anything. No one heard anything. Only me. I was the only one, still trapped in that dream. Doctors would later call it auditory hallucination, a common PTSD symptom, especially in those suffering from extreme trauma. But John didn't believe in symptoms. "That wasn't my mind," he said. "That was a message from the other side." The next day, they reassigned him to another watch post, but whatever followed him wasn't bound to a pace. Soon, he began to see a figure, small, carrying a standard issue rucksack, but no face, just a void, a deep, endless black where a face should have been. It stood where Thompson died, watching him with eyeless silence. On day 40, I was ordered back to Bunker 12 to reinforce the walls. I begged, pleaded, tried everything to stay out. But in the military, orders are orders. He descended into the bunker. His flashlight flickered, barely alive. The air was wet, thick, and on the wall, carved deep into the muddy earth, was a message.
"John, I'm waiting. I never left."
I threw up right there. My gut twisted like a knot of barbed wire. Lieutenant Evans, a young officer, just had his first child, saw the words too. His face turned pale as chalk. He didn't say a word. That night, Evans shot himself. 1 round to the mouth. No note, no reason. According to the US Department of Veterans Affairs, over 6,000 American veterans die by suicide each year, many of them from the Vietnam era. But for John, Evans' death wasn't a statistic. It was a warning from the dead. "I didn't talk about it again," John murmured, staring at his feet. His cigarette fell unnoticed. "But when I met you, The writer, I knew I had to tell it. If I didn't, it would consume me from the inside. He looked up, but not at me. He was looking through me at something behind me. I came home, got married, had kids, grandkids. But for the past few years, every night, I still hear that voice. It's not John as anymore. Now it says, this time, don't leave me. I'm still so alone. I left the facility around midnight. A heavy mist blanketed the pines like a morning veil. As my car rolled down the empty road, I heard a voice, quiet, cold, from the back seat.
He still owes me a life.
I slammed the brakes, whirled around. Nothing. Only an empty seat and the faint scent of burnt tobacco. When I got home, I pulled up the voice recorder. I rewound to the moment John mentioned Thompson, and there it was. A second voice, younger, quieter, not his, not mine, just one word.
John.
I still have that recording. If you want to hear it, you can. But be careful, because some things once heard never leave you.